Welcome to the Professional Women's Wellness Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Peggy Gleason, creator of the Mindful Eating Approach, where I help professional women and business owners with a tailored path to weight loss and self-confidence without the stress of restrictive diets, time-consuming exercise regimes, or medications. I help you transform your eating habits to enhance all areas of your wellness, and we always offer inspiration, motivation, and education with amazing gifts. Hi, Dr. Peggy here. I'm happy to have the pleasure of introducing our next guest, Marla Press. Marla is the founder of Speakers on Fire Academy, is a public speaking coach, life coach, and art of presence. She coaches on how to wow every room so that you magnetically attract more clients and wealth. Marla's mission is to help you speak so people listen. That's really great. We need her. Marla's unique exercises help beginner and experienced speakers transform immediately. Marla uses her psychology degree, energy work, and intense intuition to personalize results for her clients. She developed movement therapy for adults with disabilities and uses many exercises to help everyone be comfortable in their own bodies. Oh my goodness. Welcome to the Professional Women's Podcast, Marla. I know you are the to-go person to help people have more confidence engagement when speaking, as well as the high success rate they get from working with you. So I'd love to know a little bit about your background and what led you to this profession, because it is so needed.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Peggy. And yes, it is so needed. And it's funny, and I'm sure a lot of listeners out there can relate to this. My path was a real zigzag. I did not go from my psychology degree to being a speaking coach. There was a lot of twists and turns in there. And really, I started on stage as a young kid because I love theater. And I was always in musical theater. Can't sing with a darn, but thank goodness I could dance and I could sing okay with a group. So I was always in the chorus, but always in musicals and on stage, and just loved it. I also loved writing speeches. So I would perform a lot, just doing speeches for different occasions. And, when most people are like, no, I don't want to do it, for me, I was like, oh, I want to do it. So I just love doing it. And I've, was a consultant in the medical field for a while and spoke around the country. But what I discovered was that just having that entertainment factor wasn't enough. And what I needed to do was really connect to the audience. And that's when I took my art of presence training and got certified to teach it, because I fell in love with it.
Wow.
And that made all the difference in being able to connect to people. And you got to, the know, like, and trust factor, right? It's a real thing. People
Absolutely
really need to do that. And I was able to balance the entertainment factor and the trust factor. And what I find, a lot of people, they're big-hearted and they're not good at entertaining. They're not good at grabbing attention. And these days, especially with so much online, but everybody's a coach now, right? I mean, so many people left the corporate world and went out to be coaches that everybody needs to promote themselves, and they're not good at it. They're either afraid of it or a little anxious about it, or they just don't know how. And so that's when I really started focusing on just helping people that I've worked with executives, I've worked with doctors and lawyers, and realtors, but I love helping entrepreneurs that want to speak out and promote themselves to really get their message out there.
This is so good, because I am sure we're going to have many entrepreneurs out there listening. And do you work with male and female?
I do, yes.
Okay,
I
that's
attract a few more women than men, but absolutely work with both. They both
okay.
need it.
Great, great, great. And when you say the art of presence, can you speak to that a little bit so our audience can understand what you mean by it?
Yes, presence is one of those words like authenticity and mindfulness. They're sort of overused and
Mm.
misunderstood. So that's a great question. And I think of mindfulness as not thinking about the past, not thinking about what you're doing right now and how that's going to affect your future. It's just thinking about the present moment, taking in what's coming to you and being present in that moment in your mind. That's mindfulness, which is great. We all need to practice that, right?
Absolutely.
Because too often we are thinking about the past and the future and not, fully in the moment. But when you have presence, it's about this full embodiment of your energy. So you're not only in the present moment, but you bring all of yourself to it. You totally get out of your head energy and into your body.
Mm.
And this Art of Presence program, I didn't develop myself, but I became certified at the highest level because I love it so much. There's 45 different practices. It's psychology, it's visualization, it's energy work. It's a real combination of things. And it started out as the art of feminine presence.
Oh.
And so we focused, maybe only 20% really was focused on connecting to your femininity and what that really means.
Mm.
And because that's really misunderstood, right? Femininity and masculinity,
Oh, yes, it
really
is.
misunderstood. So, but it's only about 20%. So then we added men. So now I just call it the art of presence because it is for men and women both. And, a lot of men have lost touch with their masculinity too, or they're just conflicted about it. So this is, like I said, it's just a part of the biggest part is the presence piece, the how to embody your energy and really communicate from this place instead of from this head energy. It makes all the difference.
Absolutely. Now, as you're talking, what's coming to my mind is the importance of body language when you're presenting, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So can you
Well, it's
address that a little
interesting
bit?
because,
Yeah.
so, communication is only 10% the
Yeah.
words you say.
Yeah.
And your words are important. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Your words are important. And I help people with their content, their marketing message, their pitch, their stories, how to make them more compelling, all of that, how to craft your offer in words, social media. But what's really, really important is the actual statistic from a long time ago was your words are 7%,
Yeah.
and your body language is 55%. But I've changed that statistic a little bit because it's not just your body language, it's your energy. And that encompasses your body language, your confidence, your passion, and your energy that we can't put into words. So that's about 70% of communication. About 20% is your tone, and about 10% is the words you say. Yes, so important. And what do we focus
I'm
on?
so glad that you said that because I have read a lot about it, obviously teaching mindfulness, but I'm so glad that you actually laid it out for our listeners because it's such an important thing to realize. What do you do about, say, someone comes on, and as you know, with my mindful eating program, oftentimes I have clients that have a little bit of body shame, maybe because of weight or figure or whatever. And I'm wondering how you approach working with them so that they do feel more confident in their body, whether they like the body or not.
Yes, yes. And this is huge, huge. And, I said I took a lot of twists and turns in my early psychology work because I did a lot of therapy for people. I focused a lot on body image because I had that problem. I had a huge body image problem. And almost all women, I don't care if you're gorgeous, a model, whatever, an actress, almost all women have at least some body image issue. And a lot of us have shame about our bodies because, well, unfortunately, one reason is because, 1 out of 3 women have experienced sexual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
So we carry these feelings even though we're not conscious of them. We carry these images of ourselves even though we're not conscious. And then from a young age, we're exposed to the media where there's these high standards of what beauty is supposed to be. And we're used to, women are sort of taught to compare themselves to other women, which is so toxic. We should not do that, but it's almost innate. We almost can't help it, right? And so there's a lot of that still happens. And then, I love the old adage that beauty is only skin deep is so true.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah. So, here's the thing. It's so true that if you're confident, if you're, giving of yourself, if you're embodied in your body and comfortable in your skin, no matter what you look like, you look beautiful. You look attractive.
Yes. I so agree with that. So agree with that. And if somebody comes to you that does have that issue, how do you approach teaching them their presence on stage or on online or something? Because, we can say it a million times.
Right.
It's beauty's only, is only the skin deep. But
right.
I know my clients that probably know, you probably know many clients that still get that lack of confidence when they look in the mirror or they look at themselves on camera, for goodness sake, right? And they're like picking on everything, like, oh, I better stand this way, better stand this way. Wait, maybe I can look thinner, it gets crazy, right? So what do you do? Because you can't just magically say, okay, just love your body, right? So how do you approach that? Because it's such a heavy burden for some women and men too.
And men too. This is true.
Too.
I'm surprised over the years how many men I find that, also have this issue, but it's so prevalent. Like, it's almost every woman to some degree.
I would agree.
But for some women, it prevents them from becoming a speaker because they don't like the way they look. So it's twofold. One is, on the outside, look your best. So do what my daughter turned me on to the program because you have to watch What Not to Wear, Mom, because you need to look at that. I don't know if anybody, even the listeners out there, even know what that show was.
Oh, I know what it is.
But what was fascinating? They take a lot of these women, and a lot of them were overweight, right? But they made them look 100 times better just by wearing fitted clothes, because a lot of women that are overweight wear baggy clothes, and it makes you look bigger. It doesn't, but when you show off your curves in these, more fitted clothes, and it doesn't have to be skin tight, but just fitted for your body, you look so much better. Wear some makeup. Not everybody's going to wear the same amount of makeup, and I don't try and get everybody to wear the same amount. I wear a lot because it makes me look better, but me
too.
If you're on camera, look at your lighting. I look better on camera than I do in person because I have a ring light and I have, the right camera and all of that. So do what you can to look your best on the outside, but know that it's the inside that really, really counts and communicates to your audience. And so you're right. You can't talk about it. You can't say, okay, feel better. You look great. Because
like reading a book.
Our critical mind will go, no, you don't. So what I do with all my clients, and this is, in so many ways, people transform through experiences, not through knowledge. And so I take people, that's what the art of presence comes in. It's all exercises. So I take people through these visualizations and exercises. They're not all visualizations, energy work, and people transform. They get it. They experience what it's like to feel comfortable in your body and the joy of that. It's not usually a joyful thing. How do we make it joyful? And how do we realize that really the communication. I tell people, don't just speak from your heart. Most speaking coaches will say, well, speak from the heart, not from the head or the mind. But I say, speak from the heart and the gut.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you.
The gut is, I call it home space because it's a prettier word, but speak from the heart and the home space or the gut, and you will communicate completely differently because that's where the essence of you lives. And when you connect to the essence of you, not how you look, not even all the great things you've done, but the essence of who you are, and communicate from that place, that's when you have unwavering confidence, and you also are beautiful, or what I'd like to say is attractive. You magnetically attract people to you because you have this attraction, you have this magnetism, you have this thing that a lot of people don't have, this presence. And
Yes,
that's the
yes.
most important thing. But you can't talk yourself into it. You have to go through these experiences or exercises, and it's so helpful.
Oh my goodness, I can only imagine. That is so, I just love that you do this work because I know I was always afraid to get on camera. I was like, I don't know, I don't look good on my hair, for a long time. And then I said, "Oh, Peg, get over it. You're past that age to care, but I do care. That's the thing.
Yes,
I
yes,
do care. I
of
do care
course.
that, like that. I do care that I'm presentable and that I am able to attract. But I do understand people's shyness around Facebook Lives because what you see is what you get. So
Yes.
I can understand the hesitation, but fortunately I got over it a long time ago, thank goodness. But it is a hard thing when you're going through it. It's really frustrating because you will do anything else than to get on camera, on stage, or anything else for that matter. You'll get busy doing mindless things, right?
Right.
So,
Everything but what
yep,
you should be
everything.
focusing on, which is speaking. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So that's really amazing. Um, when you work with people, say you have a new client. Now, do you do groups or individual or both?
I do both. I kind
Okay,
of twist people's arms to do the group, and I offer a few one-on-ones within the group. But,
okay.
when you're a speaker, it's helpful to speak in front of a group and not
Mm-hmm.
just speak to me. So in the
Okay.
one-on-ones, we take the deep dive. Sometimes we get into some of the personality or some of the specifics of your industry, but in the psychology. But the group, you get feedback from other people, you get practice in front of a group, and the dynamic is just powerful.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. I've always preferred groups as well. But when you do work with people, how long does it take to see a shift? I mean, really see a shift. Somebody that comes to you that's just can't do it. Just, feels bad about their body, doesn't dress right. How long does that take for them to merely make a shift and feel truly confident to go out on stage? I'm sure it's individualized, but just in general.
Yeah. Sometimes 10 minutes.
Wow.
I know, right? Yeah.
Wow.
These exercises are so powerful
This
that,
is so great.
right? 10 to 15 minutes. But, to get my group program is 6 months long,
Oh,
because
good.
we also go over business strategy, speaking strategy, and we go over, all the aspects of having
Mm,
a business that's thriving. So it is 6 months long, but honestly, even in the first session, people transform because of these powerful, powerful exercises. Sometimes I'll even when I'm speaking on a stage, I'll take a volunteer and take them through it. Everybody witnesses a huge change in 10 minutes from a 10-minute exercise, because that exercise is taking people into their bodies, and
hmm
makes a huge difference versus speaking from your head. But
Sure.
you know, if it's body image, we might need to work sometimes just putting on different clothes. And people will think, oh, I can't wear something, that's a brighter color. Oh, I can't wear something that's a little less baggy, or, they dress really masculine when they're not really masculine. Those kinds of things that alone can make a big difference too. So there's so many things I do that have quick results. And that's why in my bio, it says so many things, it's immediate results.
Yeah, I see that. Wow. It's great. It's great. And so many people need this. Now, because when you said people with colors, and I always, it just makes me giggle a little bit because every heavy person I ever knew had to wear a lot of black. And I'm thinking, nah, it doesn't, you don't look confident. Do you agree? I mean, certain people can wear black and pull it off, but
yeah,
when you're hiding behind.
Yeah, black is good if you accessorize, right?
Right.
So you don't want to look like you're going to a funeral. I mean,
right.
You want to,
Exactly.
but black is somewhat slimming, and that's why they wear it, right? And black looks professional. It's kind of a power color. So it's not bad, but too many people, then they wear black and not a lot of makeup and not, a nice necklace or a scarf or something to go with it. And then it looks a little depressing. So,
well, yeah, that's why I was asking, because I've known so many people that had extra weight and they hid behind their clothes, and they were oftentimes black. And it was like, it just doesn't convey confidence at all to me. But I think it's because probably they weren't wearing fitted clothes. That could be part of it too.
Absolutely. Yes, that's a huge part. And it depends on the situation. It depends on, your coloring. Like, I wear red because it's part of my brand. My brand is Speakers on Fire. And the guy has red hair, although I hope it's kind of unisex, but it's a little red, a little masculine perhaps. But red's a good color for me with my hair and my skin tone.
Beautiful.
It's just a good color. So, you should know what looks good on you. Like, I don't look good in brown. I just don't. And some people might look gorgeous in brown. So you want to know what colors do you look good in? And then, you want to, depending on your background. So, you look gorgeous in the print because your background is more simple as opposed to being busy. Like, my background's busy, so I couldn't wear a print, right? So there's things to know about looking good on camera that I also talk about in my classes. So there's a lot to it, but it can be just a simple change. And I've seen this often where, women, they're wearing a vest, or they're not wearing a bra, or there's just all these things that one little change will be like, wow, you look so much better.
Yeah. I know. I was thinking about, the styles change so much, but then they come back. And I noticed I had, countless scarves. I have so many scarves because that was the thing at the time. Well, the scarves are still hanging, but I keep saying, well, maybe there is something I could do with that scarf, to dance something up, right? So style is always, because style comes and goes and people want to stay up with it. But sometimes
and you don't
keeping it simple.
Yeah, you don't have to stay up with style. I'm known for not keeping up with styles, but I think that, you have to know what looks good on you and what you feel good in. You have to feel good. That's it.
I agree.
It's not about, looking more beautiful. It's about being more attractive. I'm going to repeat that. Super important. It's not about looking more beautiful. It's about being more attractive. Big difference.
Big difference. And my mother had always told us, she was very vain, she was a cute little thing. And but she was 96 and still putting on her rouge and lipstick, and God forbid the earrings weren't there, And so we were always raised that, you have to be presentable. But she says, when you look good, you feel good. And it's so true.
It
I
is
mean, to your, in your own mind, when you feel you look good, you feel great. It's a whole level of energy.
Yes, and it's about giving yourself permission. I think you used the word shame earlier, and I think for a lot of women that do have a poor body image, it is about shame. And then they
It
don't give
is.
themselves permission to look better. It's like, oh, no matter what I do, I'm never going to look good. Those kinds of toxic
Oh, I know a few
messages.
people like that.
Yes, yes. But you
Yeah,
can look better and it will make a big difference. Even making a little change can make a big difference. Put on something a little more feminine or put on a color that you like, whether you think it's the right color or not. If you feel good in it, that's great.
doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then there's certain techniques that you want to learn from a coach or a guide on how to present yourself, because there are some things that are more true than others.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
And, just the energy that you were talking about in the very beginning, how powerful your energy is when you're speaking to someone, especially when you're presenting, right? That's what you're the czar of, is, helping people feel that they can interact with people and they're drawn to them, and it's the energy, right? I mean, that would be, like you said.
70%, it's your energy. Well, can I steal that I'm the czar of public speaking?
The
I've
what?
never been called that before. I'm the czar.
Oh, I'm going to use it all the time now, just so you know.
I love
Hashtag
that.
czar.
I love that.
You
That's
are, you
too
are.
funny.
But I know that boy, this time went by so quickly, didn't it? Oh my goodness, it went so quickly. And I know that you offer a lot of different things, and I am sure that we will be putting all of your offerings and your ways to contact you in the show notes. But is there something you would like to offer the listeners today?
Yes, I would love to offer. So I talk about, twisting people's arms to do the group, but the first connection with me is best to do one-on-one. And so
Mhm.
I really get to know you and get to know what your goals are and what your challenges are. And so I offer a one-on-one session, but it's not just a get to know you session. It's a hot or not
Oh,
speaker eval. And in this, you will, if you don't have a message, we'll create one. But if you have a message, then we will make it sizzling hot. So it
oh
could be
wow.
your story, how to make your story more compelling. It could be your 1-minute pitch. It could be any marketing message. We'll work on it. So you're going to come away with value. You're going to come away with a part of your speech or a speech that is sizzling hot and is going to immediately get you more clients.
What a generous offer that is. Oh, I hope everybody listening grabs that real quick, because to have the privilege to work with the czar, as I call her, Marla, it's you shouldn't miss this opportunity, and I'm sure that people will be grabbing at it for sure. But I just want to thank you so much for the opportunity to sit here and learn all about you and what you do, and it's so exciting.
Thank you so much for this privilege. I do love talking about these issues. I don't always talk about body image, but you're right. It's so, so important. And I just want to say also to everyone listening that even if you don't think of yourself as a speaker, we're all speakers. Whether you're
Yes.
promoting yourself because you're on a team, whether you're promoting yourself on a date or to your spouse, whether you're promoting yourself because you own your own business, and you have to promote yourself if you own your own business. And speaking well is the best way to do that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Peggy. Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening and supporting the Professional Women's Wellness Podcast. If you would like to attend training sessions by our amazing podcast guests and have a chance to connect, join the Professional Women's Wellness newsletter. For more details and to sign up, scan the QR code or click the link in the description. If you enjoyed this episode, Please leave a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast. Each week, we will select a reviewer who will receive free access to my $197 course, Goodbye Night Bites, a 30-day journey to stop emotional eating at night. Please subscribe to get notifications of future episodes.